Hey guys. Hey Fatima. Fatima is first in, as per most of the time. Um, so what I want to do today, actually, do you know what? I'm going to take the last sip or two of my tea first, and then I'm going to show you the beautiful new deck I got. Um, Only ordered about 2 weeks ago, and it came already this morning. I wasn't expecting it for another day or two because the Irish tracking hadn't shown past Dublin, where it was, held hostage by customs for a few days. So Um, yeah, so it came today. I was a bit surprised and thrilled, though, obviously. Right, that's my tea sorted. So the deck is, you've heard me talking enough about it. Hey, Sandy, the Unofficial Schitty Tarot. So, in case you don't know, Schitt's Creek is a series on Netflix. I don't think it was ever on TV. I think it was made for Netflix. It's absolutely epic. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I have watched it through at least half a dozen times, and I'm currently watching it through again because I wanted to kind of just get stuff set in my head to match the cards to the scenes that they came from, Oh, so exciting, you got your deck. Hey, Ange is here. Heather, hey girl, I'm at Starbucks still waiting for my tires. Oh, good God, Heather. Thank God for YouTube, huh? I did that too. I go into people's lives when I'm sitting in the car waiting for kids at school or whatever. It's grand. So yeah, Schitt's Creek series on Netflix. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's about this family who are, millionaires living in a mansion, and then all of a sudden the government come in and take everything belonged to them and throw them out of the house. Rose, hey Rose. Rose was at one of my events a few months ago. Rose is here in County Cork. Haven't seen or heard from her in ages. Rose, I hope you're well, girl. Delighted to see you. We must meet up over Christmas, Rose, and do cards with my new deck. So yeah, it's a kind of a riches to rags and back to riches story with all this extra stuff thrown in this show. It's brilliant. So there's an extra card, and I'll show you the picture, but it says, "We've done the best we can. You have been an essential part of bringing this deck to life, and when one of us shines, all of us shine. Thank you for being a part of our shitty journey, Heidi and Ashley." So they are the creators of this amazing deck. So this is Moira Rose. So Moira and her husband Johnny are the couple who lose everything, and their kids are Alexis and David Rose, and they're absolutely priceless. It is so funny, lads. Moira is real. She was an actress in it, but of course, when they lost everything, she had more acting jobs. But she was real kind of hoity-toity, and it's just fucking brilliant, lads. Look at the stunning backs. So it says, best wishes, warmest regards around the edge, which is something David and his friend Stevie, who is running the motel, say to each other, kind of taking the piss. And then the rose, obviously, is because the family is the Rose family. So beautiful, beautiful backs. So it's kind of a blacky grey kind of a colour, and then a rose gold, and the cards are actually rose gold gilded to match the back. So stunning, right? Very cute little white book, as they say, only it's black to match the back of the cards. There's the usual introduction, sample spreads, major arcana, cups. Hey Lottie, cups, pentacles, swords, wands, and then a quick reference at the back. So I just so there's a little quarter page, double page for each card. So I just want to read what it says about death there. Death is a card of fast and deep transformation and offers an opportunity to let go of what no longer serves you. The change indicated by the death card can be sudden and shocking, but like a phoenix, you will rise from the ashes anew. A break with the past is the only way forward. Actually, while I think of it, the meanings in the card do not tell you. They're a generic meaning. They don't tell you what the scene from the show is, which I was a little disappointed in when I heard that. However, the meanings are beautiful. And like that bit there for in particular, but like a phoenix, you will rise from the ashes, because the image from the card, if you didn't know the show, you'd be kind of wondering what the image on the card is. So you'll see it anyway. Now, these are not in order because I've been playing with them and shuffling them like mad. So here we go. Now, Bob is one of the characters in the show. He is in the whole show, and for some reason they didn't put him in it. The Wheel of Fortune, he had a garage because he was a car, a mechanic. So the Wheel of Fortune is a wheel outside Bob's garage. I was going to say garage. We don't say that. Bob's garage. But it's an awful shame that they didn't put Bob in the back of that card, I think, because he was in the whole show. The Lovers is just beautiful, because this is David Rose in the colourful jumper, and that's Patrick, his business partner, who he fell in love with and got together with and all the rest of it. Karen! So I love this for the Lovers, because they were just the most beautiful couple. They really were. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So this is the Rose Apothecary. So David opens up a luxury products shop, and then Patrick decides to invest in his business, becomes his business partner, and that's how they fall in love and all the rest of it. God, Ron, it's too loud in here for me to hear you, my dear. Enjoy your deck. No problem, Heather. Mind yourself, girl. So the Ace of Pentacles is them with their all the products set up, ready for business. Judgment. So this is Stevie. Stevie runs the motel that they end up living in when they lose everything. So the town that they moved to is called Schitt's Creek, and Roland and Jocelyn Schitt are, well, Roland is the mayor of Schitt's Creek and Jocelyn the wife. So it's priceless, lads. So Stevie, of course, being a kind of middle of nowhere countryside girl, when these rich people come to town and live in the motel, she's really like, you know, she makes these priceless faces, kind of going, what the fuck is wrong with you people, you know? So her judgy face is a great image for the judgment card. This was hilarious. Three of Pentacles. They had been eating out in the cafe the whole time, even though they didn't have the money to pay for it. So one night they decided to make dinner themselves. So Moira, the mother, decided she had her mother's enchilada recipe. The Cub Scout rubs. Yeah. So Moira decided to use her mother's enchilada recipe and decided to get David to help her. And this is where she's reading the recipe and she's saying, David, you just need to fold in the cheese. And he says, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What do I do? And she goes, I can't teach you everything. You just have to fold in the cheese. And he was like, I don't know what that means. You just fold it in. And it went on and on and on. It was priceless. So this is them fighting, trying to work together to make a dinner. Nine of Swords is David in bed, stressed over, I don't know, some breakdown of a relationship or something. The King of Swords is Mutt. So Mutt is the son of the mayor and his wife. It's funny because it only dawned on me the other day. His first name is Mutt and his surname is Shit, Mutt Shit. It's really funny. So this is Mutt. And he was doing community service, and Alexis got some community service because of something or other she did. I can't even remember what it was. But when she handed in her visor jacket thingy at the end, when her community service was over, and she was told, you really must have done a number on Mutt. And she said, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And your once Ronnie told her Mutt's community service was finished about 2 months ago, and he decided to keep on doing it. So obviously he had a bit of a thing for Alexis. So it's a good image as the King of Swords, you know, because he knew what he wanted and he kind of went for it. The Star is just beautiful. This is actually when she was torn between Ted, who she was actually going out with at the time, and Mutt. So she went into the vets all dressed up in her finest with this crazy headband thing on her, to break up with Ted, because she wanted to have a fling with Mutt. The magician, the magician is David. That's actually a scene from their wedding at the end. But there he has all the he has the sword, he has the wand, he has the cup in his hand, and the pentacle is on the floor in front under his feet. And there's the infinity symbol, and all the flowers and everything are there. So everything is there. The Knight of Pentacles is Ted on his motorbike. So they had broken up. Ted and Alexis had broken up, and he went off on a honeymoon that he had paid for, but she didn't accept his engagement proposal. So he went off on the honeymoon by himself, and he came back, having finally gotten over her, and did something proper with his hair, because his hair was gammy at the start. So he sleeked back the hair, was in the gym a bit, getting some muscles. And when he sold the engagement ring, he bought a bike for himself. And of course, she was in love all over again when she saw him looking like this on the motorbike. The Eight of Wands is them all standing in front of the laptop waiting for news to come through of her movie, of Moira's movie. The Two of Swords is when, so Ted had gotten a job in the Galapagos Islands, and the family had finally sold the town. No, they didn't sell the town. They tried to, but that didn't go through. So anyway, they set up a new business, and she was either going back to New York, which is the NY, or going to the Galapagos Islands to Ted, the boyfriend. So this is her trying to make the decision, because she knew she wasn't going to be happy seeing the Galapagos. She really wanted to go back to New York. The Nine of Wands is David in his apothecary, showing him persevering and getting his business up and running, making a real go of it because he loved it. So here's the Death card. So remember how I said, I have the book open there, it says, but like a phoenix, you will rise from the ashes anew. So this is Moira. Moira was a crow. The movie she was in was called The Crows of Ice 3. So this was her. This is the nest here at the bottom. So this is Moira as a crow in a nest. So this is like the image of her rising from the ashes. So fabulous image for the Death card. Temperance is Johnny. So here you can see a little apron around him, and he has a little book, an order book. So he was in the cafe. You will see in another card, the girl running the cafe, Twyla, had a boot on her foot. She had like a broken ankle or something, and she had crutches, and she was still trying to work. So Johnny put on an apron and decided to try and help her. So this is a cool image for Temperance. Are you all still there? Yeah. Because I have no no, I know my internet is a bit slow anyway today, but I have no chat moving in a few minutes. Right now I just want to check something. Yeah, okay. So the Knight of Wands this is Stevie. Good stuff. So this is Stevie with the so Stevie is the one who manages the motel that they're staying in. She ends up becoming like she's like the best. Hey Frank, she's the best of friends with David Rose. They have a little bit of a fling, but they decide they're better off as friends. So this is her as the Knight of Wands. The Two of Cups is cool. So this is David. There was a great scene, lads, with these two. So they were in a shop. So these two had a little bit of a fling together, right? But so it turned out he was bisexual. But they were in a shop one day. They were buying wine for a party that one of them was having. And there was this great scene whereby Stevie says, she's holding a bottle of red wine, and she says, hey Saskia. She said, I love red wine. And I thought you liked red wine. Oh yeah, because he's holding a bottle of white wine. He wants to get white wine. So she kind of uses the wine as an analogy, right, for asking him, what's the story? Are you straight or gay or bisexual or what, So she says, I love red wine. And I thought you love red wine. And he goes, well, I love red wine. I love white wine. I have sampled a rosé or two in my time. And he said, once I had a relationship with a Chardonnay that thought it was some other kind of wine. And it was just priceless. Absolutely priceless. But it was a great way of them describing to each other kind of who they liked, you know. And he explained to her, he said, it's not about the wine, it's not about, what did he say? It's not about the label, it's about the wine. Yeah. So he wasn't interested in the labels, he was just interested in the wine, you know. So the Nine of Cups this is near the end of the show where they go to New York to pitch their idea of having a franchise, obviously looking for money to pitch a franchise of motels around the country, because there was a lot of motels that were empty. They wanted to buy them up and have this big franchise of motels. So this is where the three of these go to New York to pitch their idea to one of Johnny Rose's ex, business people. Maybe you would also like the Calandra Tarot. So beautiful. I have never heard of it. I'll look it up, Frank. Thanks. Never heard of it. The Two of Wands. I believe this image is, so Johnny decided to go to Stevie and say, look, would you like help running the motel? I'd like to be your business partner. And they decided to take down the really old crappy sign, which just said, I think it just said motel on it, maybe. Or was it Bud? Her surname was Bud. So was it Bud Motel or something? But anyway, Johnny was he was kind of juggling ideas for names for the motel. They ended up calling it Rose Bud Motel, as in the Rose family, and her surname being Bud. So it was really nice, Rose Bud Motel. So I think this image is where he was kind of trying to decide what to call it, you know. The Eight of Cups is Ted, Alexis's boyfriend, going off to the Galapagos. He initially got like a 6-month job, but ended up being asked to stay there. The sun is a beautiful image. So this is Moira at the what's that thing? Do you know when they do a movie and then they have this big party where it's showed off in front of everyone? You know what I'm on about, whatever it's called. So I think this is a beautiful image for the sun card, because she's all dressed up in her beautiful gown that she purchased for it, even though they couldn't afford it. Beautiful deck, Jackie. Oh, cool, Frank. Do you have it? Let me know if you have it. Then have a look on your Instagram. The Hierophant. So this is Moira. Moira decided to be the celebrant at her son's wedding to Patrick near the end of the show. So this is beautiful. I love this. The Emperor, of course, is Roland Shit, because he's the mayor of the town. So this is the cool image. And this is actually when they rocked up in town and they got off this massive, even though they'd lost everything, they got off this massive bus outside the motel. And they had endless amounts of massive, expensive suitcases with the few clothes and stuff that they were allowed to grab before they were thrown out of their house. Johnny's business partner had kind of done him over and taken everything he'd owned, you know. So that's why the government took everything and threw them out of their house. But when they arrived, Roland appeared in his car there, in his truck, and he just stood with a face on him that said, oh my God, what the hell is with these people, you know? So yeah. Now the Four of Wands, this is actually, so here we have Jocelyn, so she's the mayor's wife. This is the girl from the cafe, Twyla. This is Ronnie, she's on the council. And not sure who this other one is. She was kind of just like an extra or whatever, but they had a group called the Jazz Gals, a singing group. So they sang at the wedding at the end. So that's for the Four of Wands, because it was just beautiful. Everyone in the town who had been so nice to them and looked after them and minded them was involved in the wedding. So this was the girl singing for the wedding. It was beautiful. This is the Eight of Swords is Alexis in bed, heartbroken over one of the breakups with herself and Ted. But the facial expressions are just incredible. Incredible. And you see, I don't know if you can see the swords there, look, are on her top. Now, this one will need explaining as well, because otherwise you wouldn't have a clue what it was. So this is, God, what was it called? Elevation. So Alexis there in the middle unwittingly joined a cult in the guise of like an exercise group. So they were all on these exercise machines, and they were, so usually the guy is looking out over the water waiting for his ships to come in, right, to see if the work and effort he's put out there has been of benefit, right? But this was them in an exercise group, and they were all, you were supposed to be, they were all exercising really fast and looking up because they were trying to make it to the gateway. They were supposed to be like climbing to get to the gateway. And Alexis in the end was like, well, what's this gateway? But obviously it was like another level of the pyramid scheme cult that they were actually involved in, where they were going to end up being asked for more and more money, But yeah, that's what this image symbolizes. It's brilliant. She didn't realize it was a cult, and she brought them all in and said, "Oh, look, if you join up, I'll get this, this, and this." And they thought they were just exercising. And when they went in, and straight away they knew what it was, and they were like, "Alexis, this is a cult," and they had to kind of like leg it and sneak out a back door, because they didn't think they'd ever get out of there. But it was priceless. This High Priestess card is the most beautiful. So this is Twyla in the cafe. And now this exact image isn't from the show. She did do like a 3-card reading for Alexis and Ted about their relationship. And they thought she was completely batty and they paid no attention. But she'd pulled 3 cards and she was saying like something mad like, oh, I see ye on a boat and the boat collapses and you all die. This kind of crap. And they were like, oh God, she's off a rocker. And they, they walked off. But this is a beautiful image of Twyla and her tarot cards. I love this for the High Priestess. The 6 of Wands is, I think this is after, at one point, Moira went for a position on the town council. So I think this is when she was successful. So yeah, perfect image for the 6. The 5 of Pentacles is just after they move into the motel and Johnny wakes up in the middle of the night with water pouring in from a leak in the ceiling on top of them. So they're completely traumatized. So this is perfect for the 5 of Pentacles. I love this. The 3 of Cups. Stevie here had been on a date with some fella, and he got up and went to the bathroom and never came back. So she was in a sulk. She came into the cafe. David was sulking about something else. So Twyla took out glasses and something that resembled rosé wine, but it wasn't. It was awful. The 2 of them were like spitting it back into the glass when she wasn't looking. But it was lovely. The 3 of them sitting at the counter together in the cafe, just kind of looking out for each other and having the chats and cheering each other up after all their, traumas or whatever. So yeah. Queen of Swords is Ronnie, because Ronnie she's a Queen of Swords. She says it as it is, she kind of looks at you as if to say, what the fuck is wrong with you? If, you say or do something wrong, and she'll tell you, So she's a perfect Queen of Swords. I love it. So this one is brilliant, right? So I know many of you will probably know, oh my good God, Tarot of the Pines, Jason. There's only a few deck reviews of this already up on YouTube, and Jason is the only one who actually knew what the scenes were from the show. But he wasn't 100% sure of how this image related to the meaning of the 7 of Wands. So what happened was Alexis had done a relationship quiz in a, like Teenage Girl magazine. How spontaneous is your relationship? And she lied to David, her brother, and she said she'd done the quiz and she'd gotten top marks, and herself and Ted's relationship was so spontaneous. But she had actually done it a load of times and kept picking different answers until she got the answer she wanted. And of course, David did it for himself and Patrick, and it said that they had a boring relationship and no spontaneity and blah, blah, blah. So David wanted to prove them wrong. So he told Patrick, come on, we're closing the shop for the afternoon and we're doing something with Alexis and Ted. But he didn't know what the plan was, and he's terrified of heights. So this is him up on this kind of a climbing frame with his helmet on and everything, looking completely petrified at the height he is at. So it's him standing up for himself and trying to prove that what he had said to her about his relationship being just as spontaneous as hers, you know. So that's how that equates to the meaning of the Seven of Wands. It's perfect. This is absolutely priceless. This is David had gone missing for a few days, and long story short, because there's another card kind of pertaining to it as well, but Moira, instead of being stressed out about her son being missing, she was stressed out because he had taken her, I think it was a crocodile skin bag, and it was apparently like belonged to her great grandmother or something, and it had been passed down through the generations, and she was freaking out because she didn't know where her bag was. This is the tarot deck of the Netflix series, I believe. Yes, it is. Yeah. So it's called Schitt's Creek, and the deck itself, Frank, is called the Unofficial Schitty Tarot. So every image is from the show, obviously. This is beautiful, the Three of Swords. So Ted had been in the Galapagos Islands working, and he came back. He surprised her. He came back for like a night or two, but they decided that they went out for dinner, but they both knew that just the long distance relationship wasn't going to work. So they had their dinner, they had a kiss and a smooch and a dance and whatever, and decided that they were just going to have to break up because he was going back to the Galapagos because he'd been offered a full-time job at this point, and she wanted to go off to New York when they were planning on selling the town and that. So yeah, so this is them breaking up. So it's the Three of Swords card. It looks a bit comic style. It is a bit, yeah. You see, from what I gathered, they didn't have permission to make the deck based on the show, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows. So it is a bit kind of comic style, all right, yeah. No, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but that's what I believe. The Knight of Cups is just beautiful. So Patrick here, who is up on David's back, had organized this hike up a mountain, well, not a hillside kind of, and a picnic because he wanted to propose to David, but he tripped and hurt his foot, and David gave him a piggyback up the rest of the hillside. And they set up their picnic, and he proposed to him, and it was all so gorgeous. This is perfect for the Knight of Cups. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now the Hermit, this is just epic. So when David disappeared for a few days, he robbed the mayor's truck and his mother's leopard skin or crocodile skin bag and took off. And he ended up living on an Amish farm, Amish, as you say, Amish farm. And eventually, anyway, they found out where he was, and they came and they said, "Come on, David, we're taking you home." And he says, "No." He says, I think I'm going to stay here another few days. I still feel like I have more kind of, introspection and whatnot to do." And of course, the Amish people were not a bit impressed with him. He was wrecking their heads because he was so kind of, rich, snobby, up himself kind of character. And they were like, no, you're done. Go. They kind of like usher him out the door. It's absolutely priceless scene. It's actually my favorite scene in the show. But this is him out in the field with a pitchfork. He was just sitting watching one of the girls doing some work out in the field. It was just so funny. The Five of Swords is them having oh yeah, it just occurred to me it's swords, but yeah, they were having a baseball game. And what's his name? David obviously is not sporty at all, but what happened was some other people couldn't play, so two boys. No, he was playing anyway, but he was asked to fill in, and he'd never played in his life, I don't think. So it was quite funny. But yeah, it's a good Five of Swords image because it was like one family against another family kind of a thing. The Knight of Swords. I can't remember this guy's first name, but he's a guy who had a bit of a fling with David, but he was actually having a fling with Stevie at the same time. They found out and he wanted to have a fling with the two of them. They were having none of it. So they both decided to break up with him. But it turns out Stevie ended up continuing seeing him for a while. But yeah, he was a good Knight of Swords. So this is the two girls battling it out for a position on the town council. So there's Myra Rose and there's the mayor's wife, Jocelyn Shit. So that kind of what's the word? Healthy competition there, you know. The Six of Swords is Alexis found out she had lice and she was too mortified to go looking for a doctor. So she went to Ted because he was a vet. So she said to go in and ask him to get the lice out of her hair. It was quite priceless. So this guy, Ray, so Ray is in the whole series too. Ray is like, he sells houses, he's the local photographer, he sells Christmas trees, he has about 10 different jobs. He just keeps appearing everywhere, doing everything, you know. He's like, I'm sure he's like a plumber or something. He does loads of different jobs. It's gas. This is where, so Jocelyn had found out she was pregnant and decided she was a school teacher, but she decided she wanted to take on another bit of a job to earn more money for the baby that was coming along. So she asked David and Patrick for a job in the Rose Apothecary. And they were traumatized. They didn't want to leave her in there, but they decided to give her a chance. And sure, of course, she was selling everything to everyone that was coming in the door. So she was delighted with herself. So, and then they decided to offer her the job, of course, and she said, "Oh no, I don't think it's for me." It was very good. Multi-talented person, yeah. And you know what? Like half the people in it actually do have a few jobs each. You know, there's a lot of that thing going on because you know it's a small, middle of the road town. You know, so everyone knows everyone and everything kind of has a bit of a hand in everything. You know. So this is Stevie sitting at the front desk of the motel, totally bored out of her mind because it's just, it's not, it's just not enough to kind of keep her brain ticking over. You know, she just got really fed up of it. So it's a great image for the Four of Cups. The King of Cups is Johnny Rose, and this is him at the front desk as well in the motel. But here he's having a glass of something or other. And like great for the King of Cups as well because like they took Stevie under their wing. Basically, they treated her like their own daughter, and you know they all end up working together and everything. Oh, it's just beautiful. The Moon card. I haven't fully pieced together the meaning of this image. Like this is where Jocelyn and her friends were all having a night out. They were going to a gig, some band called Poison that she was mad about. She got her hair cut and she got all dolled up like she used to in the 80s, and they all went out for the night. So I'm not 100% sure of kind of the link between the image and the card, but that's like the only one. The rest I know. So it'll come to me. It'll come to me. When I suppose, watch that scene again, I'll go, that's what it's about. The King of Pentacles is, of course, the mayor of the town. Even though he's not, like the personality of the King of Pentacles really is a real stuck-up prick who only wants to earn money and doesn't give a shit about anyone, kind of a vibe. But this isn't the case with Roland Shit, because he does a lot during the show to help out the Rose family, you know. So I like this as a King of Pentacles. This is beautiful. The Queen of Cups is Alexis. She was after organizing, oh my God, why can't I think of the name of it? I had it earlier on and it's gone again. A speed dating event. She mentioned Connemara in Ireland, which is where every year, every summer, there's this big, I don't know, I think it's a week long event now where anyone who's single goes up and kind of mingles and goes to concerts and all sorts of stuff in the streets to try and find their one true love kind of a thing, you know. So they mentioned that in the show, but she organised a speed dating event, even though this is after one of the times herself and Ted broke up. She was completely heartbroken, but she wanted to help other people to find love. So perfect for the Queen of Cups. It's just beautiful. I love it. See, this is the Two of Pentacles now with Twyla and her foot in a boot, and she has a crutch, and she's still at work trying to juggle plates and serve customers, you know. So that's perfect. Perfect. The Six of Cups is all of the friends in someone's house having a party and playing spin the bottle. They're on their pajamas, drinking beers and playing spin the bottle and reminiscing and all the rest of it. So good Six of Cups too. Six of Pentacles. So near the end of the show, when the Rose family decide they're all moving on, Alexis decides to give all her clothes to Twyla here, who's the one from the cafe. Well, most of her clothes, any ones that she didn't want any longer. Twyla was delighted and she wanted to repay her. So she came around to the motel and gave her this envelope, and it was a very substantial check. And it turns out hey, showwoman, she hadn't told anyone that she'd actually won a lot of money, like in the lottery or whatever. And she wanted to pay back Alexis for being so kind to her the whole 3-4 years, whatever, that they were living there, and for giving her all her lovely clothes and stuff. But Alexis actually declined. She said, look, I can't do this. She said, you hold on to it. You do what, get something nice for yourself. And she told her that she actually decided to buy the cafe that she was working in for the previous few years. So it was a lovely Six of Pentacles moment. This was Justice as Ronnie, because she was giving out the visor or high-vis jackets for the community service at the start when Alexis got community service for something or other. So very good Justice image. Seven of Pentacles. At one point, Alexis went back to college because I don't know, she hadn't finished high school or something, so she went back to college. So that's her with her college cap thingy on. For the Seven of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups. So the name is on the bottle there. Herb Ertlinger fruit wine. So Herb Ertlinger decided to make a new range of wines, and because he knew Moira Rose was in town and she was a famous actress, he wanted to put her name and image on the bottles of wine. So he invited her around to taste the wines and pick one that would be, mass produced then and sold with her name and image on it. But of course, she brought David with her to taste the wines, and they started mixing them and the whole lot and got very drunk. So this is a perfect image for the Ace of Cups. Strength. So this is Stevie from the motel. Now, Stevie was very introverted, not into putting herself out there whatsoever. But at one point, Moira Rose decided to put on a production of Cabaret, and she somehow roped Stevie into being in the show. And not only that, but she gave her the lead role in it. So this is epic for the Strength card, because this was completely outside of Stevie's comfort zone. And it turned out she was an unreal singer and actress, and she just really rocked in the lead role in Cabaret. So perfect for Strength. This is Alexis auditioning for, she wanted the lead role in the show. And if you don't know this image, YouTube it and you'll find it. This is Alexis doing the song that she made up herself. It's a song that she apparently wrote, sang, made a video of, and released. And it was absolutely priceless. A little bit Alexis. So this is Mott, the son of the mayor and his wife. He lived in a barn. He kind of didn't want to be living the high life. He did up a fabulous barn out in the middle of a field for himself, where he was living off the land and all the rest of it. So that's Mutt. Very good image for the Hanged Man. the Queen of Wands. This is Moira then. Well, she was directing the production of Cabaret. So great image for that. The Devil. So this guy now was only in one episode and he got a card. And like I was saying with the Wheel of Fortune, they could have put Bob in the background of that card because Bob was in the whole entire show. Hey, Melly. Whereas this guy, Sebastian Rain, was only in the one episode. Do you know? Now, having said that, it is a great image for the Devil because he came to town. He was an ex of David Rose. He seduced David, tried to take advantage of Moira. But David knew what he was up to, so he took the camera off and pulled the roll out and got rid of it. He had taken photographs of Moira and he had this big long spiel of a story about what he was going to do to help Moira get back into the acting business and all the rest of it. But he really only had one ulterior motive, you know. So David knew and he put a stop to him. So it's a great image for the Devil. The Four of Swords. So David had been having what's the word? Panic attacks. Jesus, words today. David had been having panic attacks and someone suggested he go to a yoga class. So he went and he was paired up with the mayor's wife here, Jocelyn. But they were told get into this position. So she was like in a child's pose and he was supposed to lie over her and whatever. And he fell asleep. So great image for the Four of Swords. Absolutely great image. The Page of Wands. This is Patrick at the open night of their cafe. Or their cafe, their apothecary. And he decided to do an open mic night and he sang a song to David. And now David was over the far side, but they just put a picture up of him here on the wall to show you that he's singing to David. So this is like the very first image from the show. So this is a massive portrait they have in their mansion, and this is the government coming in to take it all away. And obviously you can see the looks on all their faces there as everything they own has been taken from them. So what a perfect tower card image. Like, it's incredible the way they pick the images for each of these cards. This was priceless. So it says the Moira's Roses Garden. You never heard of the Netflix series? Oh my God, Frank. If you have Netflix, watch it. It is so, so funny. But like, it's just a beautiful story, you know? It really is. I missed it. What deck are we looking at? So, here we go, Melly. It's called the Unofficial Schitty Tarot, and it's based on the Netflix comedy series, Schitt's Creek. Spelled Schitts, Schitt's Creek. So if you don't know the series, check it out. It is... Oh, okay. Lock the door when you come back in. I did get it. So this card is, so it says the Moira's Roses Garden. So what happened here was when Moira got the position on the council. Yeah, it is, yeah. Moira got the position on the council and she convinced them to buy all these big fancy plants and stuff and plant them around the place to make the place look pretty, right? So they got this stone done and engraved, and they decided to call it the Moira Rose Garden. But whoever did the engraving put all these extra S's, and it was hilarious when they looked at it and went, the Moira's Roses Garden, you know. The show is hilarious, although I've only seen a couple of episodes. Love Catherine O'Hara. Listen, watch it through. It gets funnier as it goes through. And it's just the facial expressions from David Rose in particular and the sister Alexis. Just epic. If you haven't seen it, for the love of God, watch it. It's priceless. So that's the Ace of Wands. Now, this is an extra card. This is a woman in a clothes shop who gave David a job. So funny. So this is just an opportunity card, which I like. The Eight of Pentacles is beautiful. So, you know, they work hard at getting the shop up and running. and they were a bit worried that once they'd opened that they wouldn't have enough business, but they opened the door and there was this big queue outside the door. So it reminds me of, the movie Wayne's World, when they were saying, if you book them, they will come, So it was like, if you kind of work hard at what you're doing and put it out to the universe, the people will indeed come. Is the opportunity card an extra? Yes, it is. Yeah, so it's 79 cards, I'm usually not into extra cards, but it is a nice card, And it was nice that they put her into the show. Now, like I said, Melly, you probably didn't hear me say this, but Bob, Bob from the garage, the mechanic, he's not in any of the cards. The Wheel of Fortune card is his garage with a wheel on the side of the road. And they could have put him in the background because he's in the whole show. Whereas like that woman there in the opportunity card, she's not in the whole show. Neither is the fella in the devil card. So it's just a shame that they didn't put Bob in the back of the image, But anyway, the Ten of Pentacles. So this is from the very end of the show where this is the morning after the wedding. They're all ready to go off, and some of them are going back to New York to get the money that some people have said to invest in their. You could see there, like Rosebud Motel. So people have decided to invest in their motel franchise idea. So they're all morning after the wedding, and they're all getting ready to go their separate ways and do their different businesses and stuff. Maybe they're saving Bob for the second edition. Oh, maybe. The Page of Cups. This is just gas. So this is again Twyla from the cafe. And this is her smoothies. She has a menu, but lads, nothing is like what is on the menu. So people ask for different smoothies, and every single day she just throws in anything she wants to throw in that needs to be used up. So it might be an avocado smoothie, but there could be tomatoes and bananas in it. She's way with the birds. Like, she's really ditzy, this one, but it's just very funny. The Chariot, lads, is hilarious. So this is when Alexis was having her fling with Mutt, the guy from living in the barn, and he goes and buys her a bike because none of them have a car at this point. So he buys her a bike, but it turns out that as kids they never learned to, because the parents were rich, they had au pairs and whatever, and neither of them knew how to ride a bike. So this is the two of them trying to teach each other how to ride the bike. It's very funny. So it's a great Chariot card. 10 of Wands is Jocelyn having her baby. Sitting on an exercise ball in the hospital, ready to go. The Empress is also her, actually, while she's pregnant. So it's a great image as well for the Empress. And there's actually a cat on her T-shirt. Well, there actually wasn't a cat in the Empress card. There wasn't. But anyway, I know I'm thinking of something else. The Five of Cups is hilarious, lads. So some tragedy had happened in Moira's little world. So she actually started drinking and taking, sleeping tablets or whatever. She wasn't trying to do herself in, but she was just trying to numb the pain of whatever she'd lost, some audition or something, I don't know. And she actually locked herself in her cupboard. She was in there for about 5 days. It was absolutely priceless when she came out because she had this stupid wig on. And you see there's a glass there with this little wine. And then the other 4 are kind of just kind of drawn on the wall in the background, So it's a great image for the Five of Cups. 10 of Cups is at the end where, spoiler alert, obviously, with all these cards if you haven't seen it, but anyway, but David buys this little cottage for himself and Patrick after they get married. It's lovely. I love it. The Ace of Swords. So this is, again, when Moira had joined the council and fought to get these lovely planters for outside the motel to make it a bit prettier. So that's the image they used for the Ace of Swords, because that was her using her voice to kind of get what she wanted and get what she thought the town needed to look better, The Page of Swords is Alexis when she went to college to kind of finish her schooling. So very clever image for the Page of Swords. Lads, this is hilarious. So when they moved into the town, there was this big billboard with an image on it of Roland Shit, the mayor, his family, right? So it was a man, it was only a man standing behind a woman in the original image, right? But this is the way they were. So there was his like granduncle here and his grandaunt say, and they were in this position. And the Rose family were absolutely traumatized at the image, and they were like, "Can you not see what's wrong with this image?" But when at the end of the show, when they've all new businesses and they're all kind of moving on, they decide to, because they couldn't sell the town in the end. So when they were moving on, they decided to change, because they owned the town, they decided to change the billboard. So they put Moira in here and Johnny, her husband, here, and then they put David and Alexis in the background of the image. So this is like the end of the show. So it's perfect for the world card because it's like bringing it around, you know, getting ready to start again afresh when they've gone from the riches to rags back to riches. So perfect. This one is so the woman in the opportunity card who gave David a job. When David left that job, she met this guy who just turned out to be like a clone of David, and no one could see it. Well, no, David couldn't see it. Everyone else was telling him, "Do you not think he looks familiar?" And David was like, "No, no, no, I don't know what you're talking about." But what happened was there was this event where there was all these stalls of people selling their wares. This guy had taken loads of cheap products from like a cheap pound shop or whatever, and he'd put these fancy labels on them to sell them to try and outdo David's apothecary products. So perfect Seven of Swords, because he was like um, pulling the wool over everyone's eyes with these cheap, shitty products, pretending they were expensive ones. But he was still selling them for less than David's products to try and take his business, do you know? So perfect for the Seven of Swords. That's very clever with the world card. It really is, Melly. It's just brilliant. They did an amazing job at picking the scenes. Like, this is the Seven of Cups. So Stevie had been bored at the desk running the motel because it was so quiet, and she decided she wanted to go out and see what else was out there. So she did some interviews for an air hostess job. So this is her doing a few training sessions for Larry Air, it was called. Turns out it was a complete kind of a hoax of a job, really, but this is an image of her in her uniform, and which is perfect for the Seven of Cups, because she was like, "Ooh, do I want to stay at the motel, or do I want to do this, or do I want to do this, or do I want to do this?" And she's all confused, and she ends up realizing that she just missed everyone at the motel. She missed the Rose family, and she decided, no, this air hostess thing isn't going to cut it for me. I'm going to go back to the motel and give it a real go, you know. So beautiful. The King of Wands is David Rose, which is amazing because he's just epic. I love him. So the Ten of Swords is, this is a millionaire who comes to town to buy the town from them, and everything was going well. They were having dinner in the mayor's house, and then they were going to do the signing after the dinner. But your man was quite overweight, eating a load of shite at the dinner, and what did he do? He keeled over, had a heart attack, and died. So that's why they put David in here in the background as the Grim Reaper, which is pretty cool. He wasn't actually in the scene, obviously, but they put it in to kind of show what was about to happen in the scene, you know. And last but not least, we have we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is Moira's desk, where all her wigs are. Moira has absolutely tons of different wigs, because in every episode nearly of the show she has a different wig on her. And actually, I was wondering where the pentacles were, but the pentacles are actually engraved here on the chair. So there's three rows of three there. So, like, Moira's wigs were her life, do you know? She kept saying, "Oh, the girls! Don't touch the girls! Don't forget the girls! We have to save the girls." There was a little fire in the motel room one day, and she was freaking out trying to save the girls, you know, because for her, the wigs were her life. So it's very clever for the Nine of Pentacles. It would have been nice if she was in the image too, but look, whatever. So that's the last card, guys. So what do you think? I think these are completely epic. But like that now, unless you know the show, you wouldn't completely, I suppose. Who's the Queen of Pentacles? That was I'll find it there now for you. It was Roland Schitt's wife, Jocelyn. I think I've gone past it all now. No. I'll find it there now. So did you remind me, Melly, did you see the show? And I'll explain to you what the well, you might know what it is anyway, but if you've seen it. There it is. So the Queen of Pentacles, Melly, is Jocelyn Schitt. So do you remember when she found out she was pregnant and she wanted a second job to have more money for when the baby came along? She asked the boys, I saw the first few episodes, okay. So she asked the boys if she could have a job in the shop, in the Rose Apothecary shop, selling their products. And she went in and she was absolutely amazing at selling the products. And they didn't actually want to give her a job. They thought she'd wreck their heads, but they gave her a trial day. She was selling loads. They decided to offer her a job, but she said, actually, no, it's not for me. And she walked out the door. It was so funny. We'll put it on the list to watch. Oh my God, do. It's an epic, epic, epic show. Like, it really is. It's like, I don't know if you heard me saying it already, girls, but it's like riches to rags and back to riches, with a bit of like the son is bisexual, having relationships with boys and with girls, and not knowing what he wanted, and they became best friends with Stevie, even though Stevie couldn't stand them at the start because they were too rich and snobby for her. But she ended up being, she was even though she had a bit of a fling with David, she was his best friend. She was like a sister to him in the end, because basically the Roses more or less adopted her, kind of a thing, you know. You tell stories amazingly, Jackie. Even though I barely know it, I feel like I do, going through the cards with you. Wonderful. Oh, thanks, Melly. It's an amazing show. It really gets you in all the feels, you know, that kind of way. You'll be laughing, you'll be crying, you'll be doing everything watching it. It's just the best. I keep saying, it's the best thing ever written. Like, and it's written by Dan Levy and his father Eugene Levy. Twyla, who's the girl in the cafe, is actually a Levy as well, Sarah Levy. So she's Eugene Levy's daughter. So she's in it as well. And then there's another Levy in like the production or something of it as well. So it's like a whole big family affair, and it's just like, it's my favorite thing ever. And I'm just totally in love with Dan Levy anyway. He's just the most handsome human being ever. Not for shame he's gay, but anyway. I laughed my arse off on the first episode alone. Oh my God. And Melly, like, genuinely, it gets better and better. You just have to watch it. And it's one of those shows, the episodes, you know, on Netflix with no ads and everything. Episodes are about 20 minutes. You could literally sit down and watch a whole season in one go. Do you know what I mean? And there's only, there's 6 seasons maybe. It's just, I love it. I did see something on Instagram there one day. I don't know if it's true or not, that they're thinking of making a movie. I don't know whether it's this is where they ended up movie or what, and I don't even know if it's true. But anyway, we'll see. Jackie, you would be very good as a librarian or teacher. Do you know what? My aunt always, my whole life, my aunt said I'd be a teacher. It's funny. I don't think she thought that I was going to be a teacher of tarot, but anyway. But then I love kind of teaching a bit of anything that I know enough about, that I feel like I can impart wisdom on people, you know. So yeah, the Shitty Tarot, lads. Highly recommend the deck, but unless you've seen the show a few times and you know what's going on in each of the scenes, you know, it wouldn't really, well, yeah, it wouldn't make sense to you, because you have to know the characters, you know. So watch it a half a dozen times and then contemplate the deck. It is an indie deck. So this is the one whereby on their website it was €55 and the dollars, I should say, and the shipping to Ireland was $52. Absolutely scandalous. So I got onto the creators, who I never told you. The creators are Heidi Page and Ashley Brock, with illustrations by Matt Edwards. So I got on to the girls through their website and I said, look, shipping to Ireland is scandalous. I said, the deck is 55, the shipping is 52. I said, I need this deck. I said, I'm completely Schitt's Creek obsessed and I need the deck. So they went away and they said, we looked into Ascendia. And I know Ascendia because Jamie Sawyer sent me her stuff with Ascendia and it was $16.95 shipping, lads. €36 less. So I just could not believe it. So I ordered it then straight away. They made a separate kind of a link on their website. So the deck was 55, so they posted onto their website as $71, which was including the shipping. And then what they did was they gave me a code to put in to delete the $52 shipping. That was, when you go through to the checkout. So yeah, absolutely. I saved $36. So 52 down to 16.95. I have the same problem with delivery costs as I'm in the UK. Yeah, you see. But I did a live on that a few weeks back, Lottie, when I looked at the deck first. After I'd contacted the girls and they told me they'd look into cheaper shipping, I did a live and I said, look, whenever you're buying something from abroad where shipping is scandalous, people want to sell their stuff. So get onto them and say, look, this is insane. Please look into some cheaper shipping for me. And yeah, I got €36 cheaper shipping from them. See, I, of course, then being in Ireland, I got caught then anyway with customs, you see. So half of that saving then went on customs, do you know? So it would have been completely scandalous if I'd paid $100 and then so I would have paid about 120 altogether. Madness. So yeah, definitely look into shipping charges should come with some. Yeah, it's insane. So lads, I'm going to pull a card for us all. Wow, I swear shipping prices are ridiculous everywhere. And I just 5 minutes ago got a notification about them going up after the beginning of the year. I can't imagine after you know who takes office. Oh yeah. So Lance, I'm going to pull a card for us, maybe two, we'll see. I'm going to cut the deck, look at the top one, and then see about the bottom one. So a little message from the Shitty Tarot to all of us watching. So thanks to everyone watching. Remember to hit the thumbs up, right? After the live, comment if any of you can beat Fatima in getting to be the first to comment after Fairfax Tea. And thanks a million to anyone watching on replay. And again, hit the thumbs up and comment. So thanks everyone for being here. I'm going to pull one or two cards now just to see. Ooh, okay, interesting. Oh, now I did a daily reading today and I got the Nine of Swords and I have the Nine of Swords here again, right? So I have the Nine of Swords with the Hanged Man, okay? So if you're going through, so obviously this has come up twice today. So if you're going through it today and you have a lot on your mind and you're struggling, do what the Hanged Man does. Hang upside down, look at things from a different perspective, you know? Because this guy here, David, is lying in bed, letting all this mind stuff get to him. Whereas Mutt here is hanging upside down in his barn doing his exercises. He's letting the blood flow to his head, you know? He's here, obviously, you're not going to even have much blood flow if you're just thrown there feeling sorry for yourself. Whereas if you're doing a bit of exercise, you're kind of getting your endorphins going and whatnot. Plus the fact that he's hanging upside down, he's seeing things differently. So this is a really big message today because I had this already, like I said in my daily message. Have a look at it on my afterwards. So yeah, big message today about looking at things differently to get yourself out of this very stuck, depressed, can't sleep kind of state. Okay. So that's the message from the Shitty Tarot Lance. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for being here. Reminds me a bit of that deck of Sasha Graham. Yeah. Absolutely. Love her too. I had wanted to get Heidi on to join me for a live for this deck, but she hadn't gotten back to me yet. So I thought, feck it, I need to show the deck, so I'm going to get on it. So I'm going to love and leave you now because my lower back is absolutely killing me. So I need to get some heat lotion or something on it and lie in my bed and watch some more Schitt's Creek. I literally have seen it about a half dozen times already, the whole thing through, but it's one of those ones you just keep watching. My daughter, for my daughter, it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She watches that over and over again. Thanks, Jackie. Bye, everyone. You're very welcome. Thanks, everyone. You're the best. Mwah. Like I said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, comment afterwards, and I'll see you very soon. I'm going to be using this now for the next while for my daily messages. So you should be seeing more of it. Bye, all you lovelies. Thanks, Fatima. Bye, everyone. I'm going to hit end stream now.